Hello there. This is Helen Chilton from the Educational Psychology team, and I'm going to talk to you about the Circle of Friends approach. This is a brief introduction, and I hope you'll join me on the 2nd of February when I'll be leading a whole morning session, guiding you through the process of setting up and running a circle in your own school. Hopefully you'll find this relevant for at least one of your students, if not more. I'm going to try and share some content now. And there we go. Okay, so let's put that there and start. Off we go. Right, this is a very short PowerPoint. What's the Circle of Friends approach and whom could it help? I'm going to look at, is it difficult to do and how does it work? Okay, well, the Circle of Friends approach originated in Canada in the 1980s. It's widely used all over the UK now. The aim is to promote social inclusion and to reduce social isolation. Okay. It's for use in a mainstream setting for any child or young person who's experiencing a degree of social isolation, whether this is because of a disability or a lack of social skills on their part or a level of immaturity, or because of challenging behaviour, which means that other children tend to avoid them. So it works by mobilising a young person's peers to provide support for them in different ways, including by helping them understand more about successful relationships and how to fix things when they go wrong, so that they can navigate their life better and try out and maybe adopt some new responses and behaviours. By the way, the Circle of Friends, it's not the same as circle time, which you might be familiar with, but many of the skills and techniques used by teachers in circle time can be used to support the Circle of Friends process. So, who could it help? Well, over the past 20 years or so, I've set up circles for all sorts of children. It's a very flexible intervention. The circles I've set up include those for children with autism who find it hard to make or keep friends. There was one young person registered blind who was receiving one-to-one adult support from her high school, but who was pretty much ignored by her sighted peers for most of the week. It's a really useful intervention for children with difficult or hostile aggressive behaviour, whose peers find them annoying, or who are maybe wary or even afraid of them, and so tend to avoid them. And it's very helpful for children with learning difficulties or who are less mature or socially sophisticated than their peers, who tend to be left out of all class activities and even playtime. I've set up circles in Wakefield, Calderdale and Bradford, and for children from around 7 years of age up to 13. So, how does a circle work? It's a small group of volunteers, so that's children, from the child's own peer group. The circle meets once a week in school with the focus child to review how the week has gone, look at any problems that have arisen, anything that's gone well, and help the child think about ways in which it could have gone better. The children give their own suggestions. This is what I would do if I were you. This is what I do when that happens to me, and generate ideas together generally. The group is facilitated by an adult, but it's the children, basically, who engage in the problem solving. We find that advice from peers is very powerful for children, rather than the adults telling them what to do differently. A major advantage of the circle is that it doesn't demand a major commitment of time from the adults. That's because the real work is carried out by the peers themselves. However, very importantly, it does need a commitment by at least one adult in the school to make it happen and to keep it on track to make sure it works. So, as it says here, the adult's role is to meet with the circle members for around 20 minutes a week, to convene the meeting, facilitate the process, make sure it stays supportive and doesn't degenerate into name calling or arguing or blaming. Okay. Is it difficult to do? It's not. It's not difficult to do. But as I said, the adult needs to commit to convening the circle, supporting the youngsters in it and keeping it going. So that's the kind of skill job, really. And you might want to think about which adult in school would be best placed to offer that sort of support. Time needs to be set aside for the circle to meet. Ideally, it's the same time every week so that the children don't forget. And you have to find 20 minutes, 15 minutes from a busy week. That takes a bit of thinking about, in my experience. A circle can be hard to run in schools where the teaching groups vary from lesson to lesson. I've found that particularly in high schools where the students are grouped in different groups for different subjects, and it can be quite hard to identify a kind of stable peer group where the children are in contact, regular contact with each other enough to make a difference. And a circle can run for several months or as long as is needed. Some books say just a few weeks, but I found in practice, if a circle is running well, the parents are so pleased with it, the child really finds it positive, everybody's happy, the circle can run as long as it's needed. And some children, when they leave primary school, go to high school, say, can I have a circle when I get to high school as well? I just want to show you why this circle is, why the approach is called a circle. We can all think of our friendships and friendly relationships with others as falling into this sort of pattern. Some children, and some adults too, have few, if any, friends who fit into circle 2 or 3. They have their immediate close family members, typically their parents or carers or closest relatives. They may also have others in their lives who are paid to take care of them or do things for them, jobs for them in different ways. That's circle 4. But as for close friends, or for being involved in social groups where they could make more good friends, or just be on friendly terms with other people as equals, well, these may be circles with almost nobody in them. A circle of friends can help to change that situation, as we'll talk about next time. Some thoughts to think about. I went to some training years and years ago on Circle of Friends, and the presenters there, who were very involved in bringing the work to the UK, commented, in their view, psychological well-being is associated with fullness and vitality in circles 2 and 3. And when I've had adults join us when we're setting up a circle, some of them have come up to me afterwards and said, do you know, I don't really have enough going on in circle 3. I used to, but I gave various things up. And I think I'm going to do something about that now. So these sort of circles can apply to all of us. I think as psychologists, as humans, we think friendships are part of what it means to be human. And it's a fairly bleak outlook for children who go through school with hardly any really close friends. Some people say, well, I think true friendships can't be engineered. And I wonder about that. I think there's a lot that adults in school can do to help things along for children who don't really have any close friends. So, this is almost the final slide. What you will learn in the course is we'll talk about some different kinds of circles for youngsters with different needs. We'll have a go at filling in your own circles. I'll look at how to set up a circle of friends in your school, and if it goes well, if I can manage it, we'll simulate that kind of process with you all there joining in. We'll look at variations on the basic focus child model. Some parents don't want their child to be picked out or identified or stigmatized in the way that they're the focus child, clearly identified. There's other ways, there's ways around that. We'll think about how to run the weekly circle, sorts of activities you can do. Quite importantly, sometimes things go wrong with circles and I get called in to try and help fix them. So I've got a bit of experience about the sorts of difficulties that can arise. And again, there's ways around those, and we'll look at those. And I'll link you to some useful resource materials if you're interested in setting up your own circles or talking to your families about maybe setting up a circle for one of their children. So the full course should take place, technology permitting, on Tuesday the 2nd of February. I'm aiming to start at 9 o'clock, but it would be a good idea for people wanting to take part to be in place 10 or 15 minutes early in case we have some technical glitches. We will have some technical glitches. I'm aiming to make it a fun morning with chances for us to interact, and maybe we'll work through the process of setting up a circle together, perhaps for this young chap. So that's it for now, and thank you for listening.